welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name is, holy shit, those tanks are flying. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Freedom Fran. That's Freedom Fran, and he's driving the Tiger Mark 1 on a standard battle on Pearl River. I just guess that goes to show they did change some of the terrain elevation around the bases there in the last patch, as it appears that this tank was flying just a moment ago. And there's also probably going to be some other bugs with the ammo load indicator and whatnot, just because this is obviously this game is from the last patch as opposed to the most recent patch, but it is a pretty epic game, so I thought would bring you this one nonetheless. So, sizable force heading into the northern area. Looks like the enemy is slow into position here. For some reason the Hummel is leading the charge, so he's going to get shot directly in the face, and there we go, gets a good hit on that Hummel. Takes a good chunk of his hit points off. Luckily the Hummel is a little bit aware, so is able to get out of harm's way before taking any more damage, gets to keep his life at this time. But it looks like the Allies have got the best of the situation here, as they've got much better positions than the enemy has. The enemy's a little bit, well, to be fair to them, at least the enemy's come over the bridge this time and actually come around and are fighting them in this little alleyway, as opposed to just waiting for them to come over that bridge, which is generally what you tend to find a lot of teams doing these days, and that usually doesn't work out very well for the enemy. So all credit to them, they are at least pushing forwards. Just having a few shots at this AT-AT and not really able to get any damage on him. Not quite able to hit the weak spot there. Hellcat getting himself way out in the open there to try and get a hit on that AT-8. Hopefully. Yep, there we go. Finally able to get a little bit of damage through the weak spot of that AT-8 there. He's got an ally pulled up with him. Going to try nice shot on the front of that 3601 there. Able to get some damage on him. 3601 does the smart thing of poking himself out even further, because that's obviously what's going to save his life. He's been getting shot from the front, so drive out a little bit further, and that will obviously mean that you're going to be safe. Freedom Fran got a really good hold down position here. There's not much anybody can really do. Can't really get any damage on this AT-8 though, but like I said, nobody can get any damage through the turret or the gun mantlet of this Tiger 1 here. So he's in a really strong position. Just got to be careful, because his allies appear to be suiciding themselves for some reason. Shimmer was a little bit further forward there. Probably could have caught that T-25 AT out in the open there as he was making a little bit of a move. Just got to be careful, because that AT-8's probably looking in his direction. You don't want to take some free damage from that guy. Poke over the top, and there we go. Indeed, he was watching this position, but like I said, bouncing on that on the thick turret armor and the gun mantlet, not quite able to get any damage through onto Freedom Fran, who is just, he's in a fantastic position here right now. He's just got to be careful that on that right hand side he doesn't take any hits from that AT-8. It looks like there's another VK3601 moved into position here. Now I know we can see that IS on the left hand side, but I'm guessing because of the terrain changes, there was probably used to be a rock in the way there, which is why he's not taking any shots at that IS. I may be wrong. Maybe he's just decided that he doesn't want to shoot that IS for some reason. Probably thinks that some of these guys on the right are a little bit more of a threat, which indeed they are. The AMX should be taken out pretty quickly, along with that AT-8. Two of them going to prove pretty difficult to shift. And it looks like his allies have all decided that they were sick of the war and just decided to go home and not take part anymore, as they've all been wiped out. And actually the enemy is winning this one significantly at 10 kills to 4. So Freedom Fran's really going to have to dig deep here and pull something big out. Yeah, as you can see, not shooting at that AMX M445 until he got around about the place where the T-25 AT was. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there was almost certainly a rock in the way there on the old version of this map that Freedom Fran was playing on. AT-8 transitioning across now as well. Just going to wait for one of them or the IS to poke his head out, and there we go. That becomes kill number 3. and he's just racking them up here. His allies may have all decided to roll over and die, but Freedom Fran's in such a good hold-down position here. Nobody can really get any damage on him. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to come at him from probably a few different angles here. As you see, the AT-8 also getting into the same position. Oof, not quite able to get a shot on his weak spot as he gets behind cover there. So, really, if he can just hold... Well, I was going to say if he can just hold them off, hopefully his allies in a different part of the map will be able to push on and secure the victory. But I think there's 2 or 3 tanks left in this area here. So, to be honest, they're probably still outnumbered in the rest of the map, as well as this position here. So Freedom Fran just not panicking, taking his time and just sitting here waiting. There we go, finds the Jagdpanzer, rushes his shot just a little bit there, but hopefully shouldn't pay for that one. Jagdpanzer rushes his shot as well and misses. Should be able to get a good bit of damage through his front plate. Managed to bounce that shot. He's going to stay out in the open because he knows that Jagdpanzer probably can't hurt him. Probably won't be able to pick out his commander hatch or the weak spot of that thick turret armor. And indeed he cannot. Well, actually, his last shot does pick out either a weak spot or he was firing gold there. Or maybe HE, although I think he would have done a little bit more damage with HE. So he either managed to pick out the commander's hatch or he was just decided to say fuck it and just decided to fire off the gold there. But we know for a fact that at least this AT-8 and the ARL V39 are here. But that still just leaves the T25AT and that KV-1 to deal with the rest of the enemy team. And I think he can probably go ahead and just immediately discount that KV-1 as he's sat in D3 for the entire match and not really moved or done anything. So it's really Freedom Fran and this T25AT all on their own. Finds the ARL. But the ARL is able to zip around only got spotted at the last second there and was able to get back into cover. So there's nothing Freedom Fran's going to be able to do about that. So fearing a bum rush, he's going to reverse himself back down the track a little bit and then head to the higher ground. Going to head to a position where he can't get flanked from 2 different directions. Here, if anybody's going to want to flank him, they're going to have to come down that little gully. Basically knows that they're going to come from the left instead of being able to come from the left and the right. And the other thing is he gets the higher ground here so he can fire down onto the enemies. Decides to shoot at the higher priority target of this ARL V39, although he manages to get into cover in time. So he's going to focus on taking out that AT-8. The ARL V39 is much easier to damage, so he's given that one a little bit more of his attention. Ooh, rushes his shot just a little bit. I don't know why that ARL has decided to back off now. He really should have used that opportunity to come around the corner, have a shot, and then leave. No. He decided to back off for some reason, and that's going to cost him his life. He took out Freedom Fran's track, but that's nowhere near what he needed to do, as Freedom Fran still got almost 1,300 hit points there, and he's just got to deal with this AT-8 now, who's going to be slowly making his way up the hill. So Freedom Fran's thinking, well, I'm not getting involved in that, I'm going to drop down this little hill here. Hopefully should be able to get one last shot through his weak spot, and that is curtains for the AT-8. So absolutely amazing piece of defensive work there from Freedom Fran, picking himself up 6 kills, 5,000 damage, and just having a little bit indecision of which direction he wants to head there. He was going to head to the enemy base and help the T25AT with that SU-152, but it looks like the 2 Hellcats are capping their base, and luckily that the SU-152 was able to get a reset on the T25, and that's put them behind. So now Freedom Fran's got to get in here, and he's got to get a shot on both of these Hellcats in order for them to win this one. Takes his first shot, gets a good hit on the front of that Hellcat. He's got to hit the other one, or else this is definitely going to be a loss. In fact, he's got to hit them a couple of times. Taking some big hits from these Hellcats here, but luckily not quite able to get any damage through. The right-hand Hellcat's running away, as he's the one who has the most capture points at the moment. But Freedom Fran not panicking, not rushing there, but looks like they actually drove out of the cap zone there. So they're both going for the kill rather than rather than the base cap. Tried to get a shot on this guy as he fled behind the rock, but not quite able to get any damage on him. One more shot on that flying Hellcat is able to finish it off. That's kill number 7, and then all he's got to do now really is just keep this Hellcat's attention. Oh, very unlucky 0 damage critical there, but thanks to the T-25AT, all he's got to do is hold the attention of this Hellcat. Doesn't even have to kill him, just has to make sure he doesn't drive back and decap. And in fact, there's only 5 seconds left on the clock. So this one is GG, good game, and thank you for playing. So absolutely awesome replay there from Freedom Fran, being an absolute immovable object on that right-hand flank there, just not letting anybody past, scoring himself 6,000 damage and a monster 7 kills. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Stick around, because as always, the score screens are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Dark Vader. That's Dark Vader, maybe a play on words from Darth Vader, and he's driving the AT-7 on an encounter battle on Himmelsdorf. So the AT-7 being the Tier 7 tank destroyer for the British, the ones with the ridiculous front armour, all apart from the giant pillbox on the top of the hull there. That one there is the weak spot of this tank. So we're going to be heading up the hill straight away. Spots a Hellcat, not quite able to get a shot on him. Gun not quite being accurate enough. Very lucky there that he managed to land a shot just north of that gun mantlet, as the gun mantlet on the Hellcat is actually very well armoured. So Darth Vader doing an excellent job there of getting 3 shots in and around that gun mantlet to be able to take out the Hellcat there, no problem whatsoever. So we're going to be heading up to the rubble pile here, going to be facing off against this Black Prince. Just going to wait for anybody to try and make a move around that rubble pile there. Dark Vader's going to, nope, he's going to let the IS take his position instead, as he's seen 2 or 3 tanks flanking around the right-hand side of the church here, the ruined building on the hill. And they've got a Jagdpanther and a T-34-85, but Dark Vader just not trusting them with the task of defending this flank, so he's going to be heading round there himself in order to try and ward off anybody who's making a push. You see there's a few of them. There's a Churchill 7, a Tiger 1, and another T-34-85. Dark Vader just going to charge around the corner and rely on his superior armour. Gets his track taken out, but uses his repair kit to get that one fixed up, just so he can bring his gun on target and get a good hit on that Churchill Mark 7, who was just caught way out in the open there and just eliminated pretty damn quickly. So he's just going to kind of squat here and stop the enemy from pushing any further. But if you check the mini-map, they're actually getting flanked pretty severely here. Nobody really went to Dead Man's Alley, Tiger not being able to land a good hit there. Dark Vader being able to get a hit in return. Nobody really went to Dead Man's Alley there, so that IS and T-43 have been able to flank around behind everybody. And if that Churchill doesn't pull off something heroic, then they're going to be fighting a rearguard action at the same time here. So just waiting for this Tiger to poke himself out. Luckily, with the reload of the AT-7, he's able to land 2 good hits before the Tiger 1 has his first shot. Oh, his next one just about landing in the dirt, so a little bit unfortunate there. But like I said, the reload speed of this AT-7 is pretty damn fantastic, so he's able to just land hit after hit after hit on this Tiger 1, keep him tracked, keep the damage flowing, and he's taken him down to just 85 hit points. This Tiger hasn't been able to really do anything in return, and then the T-34-85 comes around the corner, cock blocks him, and kill steals that one. So, a little bit of a dick move from the T-34-85 there, but at least the Tiger is dead now. Dark Vader not really making anything of it. Now he's got the other T-34-85 to deal with. He's just going to charge him down because there's nothing really he can do. Now he's going to come at everybody from the rear here, and nobody really paying attention. Everybody, well, everybody except this Black Prince looking in the wrong direction. So we're going to try and deal with this Black Prince first. They've kind of got them in a bit of a pincer move here, except they don't really have enough tanks to successfully complete the pincer maneuver. They've kind of just switched positions with them. Tiger Mark 1 not quite able to hit the weak spot here. He's going to close down the distance just to try and guarantee some damage onto the massively armoured AT-7. Although looking at where his gun's pointing, I'm not sure the Tiger 1 knows where the weak spot is, although he is able to get some damage through, so he probably does. The M6 that was left on the hill's now been eliminated, so it's going to be up to Dark Fader to travel back around this corner and see who he can find. Finds a T-29 and a VK-3601, not who you want to run headlong into, but he's able to take out the T-69, T-29, no problem, and he's able to leave that 3601 with just 66 hit points. Gets his track taken off, so he's not able to follow him. As soon as that track is up and repaired, you can guarantee he's going to be charging around that corner, as that T-34-85 is blocking off the rear there. So this 3601's really, well, I was going to say had nowhere to go, but he's just taken out that 34-85, no problem whatsoever. And he's just going to be sitting around this corner waiting for Dark Fader to make his appearance. Rushes his shot, doesn't do any damage, bounces on that front armor. Dark Fader's got all day just to pick his shot and finish him off. But score pretty close at the moment with 13 kills to 12. The enemy has 3 tanks. The Allies here have 2. They've got that Tiger P and the AT-7 of Dark Fader, and the enemy team has an IS, a T-43 and an Su-8, so I'm just going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action as the AT-7 not known for its speed and manoeuvrability, and in fact gets himself taken out there. The Tiger P now is eliminated, and that leaves the IS, T-43 and that Su-8 to do some base capturing action. Looks like Dark Fader is taking the long route around because he's got quite a long time here, quite a lot of time left on the clock. So he's taking the long route around in order to try and find that Su-8. Artillery sometimes camps around the bottom end of the train tracks here. He's not able to find them, which means he's probably up here somewhere with the other tanks for safety in numbers. Finds the IS, although the IS is hiding behind a car there. Now finds the Su-8. Hopefully if he gets a good damage roll. Ooh, just about missing that Su-8. Took that shot a little bit too quickly. Gets a shot back at the Su-8. Looks like that one did hit. Su-8 misses his shot, and that is kill number 6 for Dark Fader. Going to try and get some damage onto this IS. His first shot ineffectually hits the concrete fence post, and the next one gets soaked up by the wooden rear slats of that truck. Obviously both those things, fence posts and rear wooden slats, able to deflect a solid high velocity tank shell. Unfortunately the front armour of this IS not able to stop a high velocity solid tank shell. He's getting shot from the rear now by this T-43, but there's nothing really he can do. He's just got to concentrate on trying to take out that IS, which he's able to do, and he's able to bounce that shot on the T-43 and then able to get some damage through him now. And doing the smart thing now of just backing off. What he wants to do is just reverse towards the cap zone. No, he's driving forwards. So, a little bit of a mistake there from Dark Fader. He's decided to drive forwards, and the T-43 gets around the corner, puts a shell through his side armour, and puts an end to his hopes of winning this game for his team. So a little bit of a mistake there from Dark Fader. The adrenaline probably going a little bit too hard there, but what he really should have done was just start reversing back towards the cap zone, keeping his front armour faced towards the T-43, and as he backed off, every time the T-43 popped himself out to have a shot at himself, he wanted to fire back just to make sure the T-43 didn't have time to aim at his weak spot, just keep him under fire and reverse all the way to that cap zone, and then that forces the T-43 to come for you, because there was no way he was going to play run around the houses there. So, absolutely brilliant, valiant effort there from Dark Vader, picking himself up 7 kills and 5,500 damage, just not quite able to come through in the end there for that one. So a little bit of a shame on the outcome, but still in an excellent game nonetheless. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Score screens are coming up straight after this one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like or favourite, and if you want to see more of this kind of thing, then hit that subscribe button. I have been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you next time.